Yeah, so the Knicks and the, or sometimes I would refer to them as the New York Bricks. But
The New York Bricks. The New York Bricks.
I mean, you know.
Oh Kiddan. Oh Kiddan. Yo, what up, people? Hello, namaste, kamcho, assalamu alaikum, and sastriyakal. What up, guys? Welcome back to the Oh Kiddan podcast. We're back for another episode. I'm your host, Tej, and we have Tej's Pops back with us.
Tej's Pops, I love it, as always. I'm going to put a permanent sticker here, Tej's Pops, nothing else. Even if the wife wants to refer to me, you got to refer to me as Tej's Pops. You ever going to call me on the phone, text me, Tej's Pops. I don't even want to hear anything else. I might even ask work to start doing that. Just call me Tej's
Work?
Pops. Hey, man.
That's how far you gonna go?
I'm official, man. Tej's Pops. I'm official now, right? just messing around. No, but I like that. Tej's Pops, sir. Oh, Kiddan, back in the building. We here. We here. ਅਸੀਂ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਗਏ ਅਸੀਂ ਆ ਗਏ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਹਾਂਜੀ alright ਦੱਸੋ ਜੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਅੱਜ ਕੀ ਕਰਨਾ ਹੈ ਅੱਜ ਕੀ plan ਹੈ
ਅੱਜ the plan.
What's on the menu today?
Today's menu is basketball fun facts.
Basketball fun facts. So things that generally most people would not know and that we're going to kind of give a little bit lighter today. So that you and I may not know some of these facts for each other.
And if we overlap, I don't know what to do.
It's okay. I don't think we will, especially like some of those facts that I have. I don't think we're going to overlap.
Oh, no?
Nah, I don't think so.
Right.
I came prepared, my friend.
I did too. I did too.
I came in with a certain set of facts that I don't think the average person knows. So,
Me too.
Yeah?
I'm on the other end
you
of
like
that too.
I don't know. I might know some of yours maybe.
You sure?
Well,
You might know one of mine.
Hey,
or two.
You know what?
What?
We'll find out. We will find out. All right,
All right,
cool.
so I'm going to do 5 facts and you're
Okay.
going to do 5 facts.
5 and 5 each.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Well, hopefully no overlap, but we'll see. We'll see.
I have a feeling we will.
I don't think so. Some of the facts that I have, I don't know.
You sure?
I'm pretty confident. I'm
All
pretty
right,
confident.
all right, bet.
Yeah,
Bet.
but you know what we didn't do?
What?
Oh man, come on now. Right, we gotta get this right. Right. All right, cool. So, sir, 5 basketball facts of, I guess, strange, fun, bizarre, whatever type of facts, whatever you want to use, right? Whatever adjective about basketball.
Basketball
Right?
only.
Basketball facts. Okay, nothing outside of that.
Nothing else.
All right, so you have limited me from coloring outside the lines. Like I love to do that, but you have limited me from going too far out. I will try.
You still will try.
You know how it is.
Yeah.
No, I will try to not do that. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
But again, you know me.
You still do it. You still do it.
You know me.
All right,
sir.
So
you want to start us off, or you want me to start? How do you want to do this?
let's have you start. Last episode I started.
Listen, man, it's your podcast.
No, you're starting this time.
I'm starting.
This time you're starting.
Man, the pressure's on. Oh,
What?
I gotta come clutch on this one. Oh, all right. Well, thank you, beta.
Beta.
Do your homework. All right. So, my first fact, which I don't think you or even the general public knows, but this is from a time which is before your time, when I was about your age or maybe a little older, and there was a video game that had come out called NBA Jam.
I know that one.
You know that one, right? I don't know if it's still like in circulation like that.
A little bit.
A little bit? Okay.
Bit.
But this was a game which was called NBA Jam, and the people my generation, it'll be one of those like reminisce, like, oh yeah, I remember, like nostalgia almost. This was a game that I remember we used to, so now that you kids play virtually at home, right, on the PCs, on your Xboxes and whatever, there was a time when we would have to go to the arcade. In the mall.
Arcade.
Yeah, we had to go to the mall.
So you can't play.
So we would have to have our parents, give us a roll of quarters, right? It was a roll of quarters, a $10 roll of quarters. It was about yay big. We had to stuff our pockets with them. We had to get a ride to the mall. And then in the mall, there was a place called whatever arcade.
Yep.
we had to go to the arcade, and there were certain arcades or video games, but they were this big, huge like console where you stand with joy, and they had 2, 3, 4 players depending on the game, and you would have to do any of these buttons, and you would compete against each other. And it would be just this whole shop of just players playing in the arcade. It was beautiful. It was one of the greatest things ever. Just to go hang out in the arcade, right? So that's what guys did. As a boys, generally guys it was mostly guys, right? We all just go to the arcade and mess around and play games, talk trash, eat a bit of food, right? Try to like finagle the machine so we can get an extra game in, right? It was always like, boys being boys. I know ਤੁਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਰਤੀ ਹੋ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਸਾਰੇ ਮੁੰਡੇ ਸ਼ਰਾਰਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਆ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ right ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਅਸੀਂ ਵੀ ਕੀਤੇ ਕੰਮ ਸਾਰੇ so ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਹੈ right so we would go and over there was a specific game. There's one game for sports enthusiasts.
NBA Jam.
And it was called NBA Jam, right? And it had this music, this like guy whose voice would echo, and it was a 2-on-2 game. It was teams where you pick whatever team, it would be the 2 best players on that team versus whatever other team, the 2 of their best players. And the bodies were about like yay big, but the head was like yay big.
Wait, so it was like in 1987 about that?
No. In the 90s.
Oh, 90s.
In the 90s.
Wait, so...
Not that old. Come on now.
Wait, so...
The game was in the 90s.
Okay.
That's when I recall. Like, it was in the early 90s. It was big back then. The game came out in the 80s, like late 80s, mid to late 80s, I believe. Could be wrong, but around that time. And then it was like a popular game up until probably the early to mid 90s, right? It had its run. And that's when I remember, like, this game was one of those, like, it was one of the games, one of the main games, right? There was Super Tecmo Bowl, Contra, Mario Brothers, right? That was Nintendo. But like these are the arcade games that we would play. NBA Jam was one of those big games. That there was a line of guys around, that specific arcade, that game itself, and people will watch you and be talking trash, and people be betting, like they were doing some crazy things out there, right? And there was a line to get next. There was always a line, like on the court, you got to get in line to get next.
Yeah.
There was a line to get next in the game. It was like that.
That's how popular.
Serious. It was that serious, right? And the players were like the bodies were this big, but the head was like yay big. It was crazy. It was a big head. It was like a bobblehead, but in a video game. And in NBA Jam, what would happen is when the guy would jump, he wouldn't jump normal. He would jump literally to where the jumbotron is up there. He would jump that high and come and do like 3 flips and dunk down. It was crazy. It was one of those like type of games, right? Jump shots would barely go in. And that's why you would always... the concept of he's on fire would come, like, because the guy would shoot, if he makes 3, the net would literally burn. And the ball would have a flame on it. When it goes through, the net would burn off. It was one of those, it was cool. Like, it was it was the graphics of those times. But the outlandish, like, if you like power up, you could jump from half court to dunk it on the other side. It was crazy.
What?
Yeah, it was crazy. Yeah, it was one of those type of games. And I remember we would play this game a lot, all the time. And there was a specific fact, though, about this game that I don't think the average person knows. I'm willing to bet the average person does not know this. You want to guess?
I don't know nothing about NBA Jam. Okay.
So
I don't do any like.
All right, so this is way before your time, right? So obviously, I don't expect you to know, but I'm happy to know that you know of the game.
I know the game.
Yeah, so I'm happy to learn that. Except you know nothing else outside of the name.
Nope.
Okay, so sir, in this game, it was a 2-on-2, right? But through my research, what I learned is that the head designer, the lead coordinator of this game, name was Mark Turmel, right? Mark Turmel, Turmell. He, quote unquote, tweaked or programmed the game, the code of the game, to do one certain specific thing for one specific team in one specific moment against one specific team.
What are they?
You want to guess?
Maybe the Bulls are one of the teams.
There you go. Boom.
Maybe
so one of the teams was the Bulls.
Maybe the Lakers was one of the teams.
Nope. Think about rivals. Bulls rivals.
Pistons.
Man, you are good. You are good, my man. My man. All right. So
those were the 2 teams?
Yes. Mark was a Pistons fan. He was a diehard Pistons fan. The game came out in the the mid 80s, late 80s. So think about that era. That was like the bad boys, right? And now the Bulls are coming up. And by that point, like by the time the game got popular and really it was the Bulls era now, right? And they beat the Pistons. The Pistons were kind of like, it was their time was over. And that was Michael Jordan's time. And this guy was a Pistons fan. Detroit fans are about their team. He's a head programmer. He's the lead coordinator. So the designer of this game, what he did was every time in the game, if you were the Bulls and you were playing against the Pistons, whenever there was a end of, a game tying or a game winning shot, any last second shot, not even a game winning, any last second shot, think about it, at the end of every quarter or any half, whenever the final score is, final time is 3, 2, 1, whatever, you will guarantee miss.
If you're the Bulls?
If you're the Bulls. Against the Pistons only.
You will guarantee
because he loved
miss.
the Pistons. He never wanted the Bulls to win. So every time, if you played the Bulls and the other guy played the Pistons and you took a last second shot, it was 100% miss rate, regardless. Think about that.
What type of miss though?
Anything.
Anything?
Shot, dunk, you name it, it's going to be a miss.
No, but what type? Like brick or air
It was
ball?
a miss. It doesn't matter. It was a miss.
Whatever?
It was a miss. The point is it was not going through the net. And you were not getting those 2 points or 3 points that you would have liked, right? So this was a fun fact that I never knew about. So had I known this, I would have always selected the Pistons every time someone selected the Bulls against me because I knew that last second shot was going to be a miss, right? I wouldn't even be worried anymore. And that's crazy though. If you think about it, you designed a game, you kind of hid it in there. You never told anybody. It's a mainstream game. Maybe millions of kids are playing it. It's in millions of at homes, arcades, wherever. And you got this little tiny piece of code in there that says the Bulls have this handicap that they will never make a last second shot against the Pistons. Ever. That was crazy. Did you know that?
Nope, never.
Yeah.
I've never heard about it.
Yeah. So I hope somebody learned something new.
So my fun fact, my first one, is that Wilt Chamberlain, do you know who his number was retired by? Or what team? Do you know?
I know one of them. I believe I know one of them.
What?
It's not an NBA team.
Which team?
Is it the Harlem Globetrotters?
You got it.
I got it.
How do you know?
Experience, just watching the game for a long time, studying the game.
Wilt Chamberlain had his number retired by the Harlem Globetrotters.
That's crazy, right? I don't know the details though. I just know he had it.
Yeah.
What were the details? You know any of the details? Come on, man.
I just got the fact.
Okay. So yeah, it was retired by the Harlem Globetrotters.
I think it was because the last team, I think I got this from somewhere. Mm-hmm. I think it was the last team that he played on.
He played on the Globetrotters?
Yeah, he did.
We might have to do a Google check.
He did. He did one time.
Really?
Yeah, I think he did.
Think so?
Yeah.
Huh. Might have to check on that.
I think he maybe did.
Okay. Well, we'll come back, I guess, and get a little more detail. We'll try to get a little more. But okay, so he had his number retired by the Harlem Globetrotters. Yeah, I knew that, but it was just like, really? I never bothered to research it. Again, I'm very much I started following basketball in the early 90s. That's kind of like as far as that's when I really started paying attention. And that's really when I start my lists from. Any list I have of the greatest this, best that, whatever this, it's got to be people I watched, right? And I never really watched him, so I never really followed up. Whatever. Okay, he must have got retired. Yay. Right, respect to him, obviously, but I never bothered to go fact check it. Okay, cool. Next, me?
Yep. You're number 2.
All right. This one might be a little more common to folks. So I'm going to call this my softball, my easy lob.
Easy layup.
Easy, my oop. All right, let's see if you're going to dunk it or lay it up or what. 2 teams in the NBA, only 2, have never moved locations or ever changed their name in the history of the NBA. Every other team has either changed their name or moved locations to a different city or whatever the case is.
Is Mavericks the one of them?
Nope.
Is the Pistons one of them?
Nope. And they're here's a hint. Both of them are mainstream teams. They're always in some sort of in the news, whether for good or bad. They're definitely always there.
Is the Celtics?
They're big, medium. So Celtics are one. Boston Celtics have never moved and never changed their name since day one.
It was always the Boston Celtics.
Always the Boston Celtics. And what is the other team?
It's a mainstream team, right?
Yeah, not for good though. Recently, at least, or the last decade.
Wait, the Clippers? The Clippers?
No, not the Clippers. They have moved and potentially almost ready to move again.
Is it the Blazers? hard. Mainstream team and has not been doing good so far.
Or for a while.
For a
or
while.
recently, you could say, I guess. Depends how you look at it. Do, 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 do. So what will it be?
Maybe the Heat?
No.
Maybe the Nets?
No.
Oh yeah, they were New Jersey.
Yeah, they've changed a couple. Brooklyn area.
But
you're close though. You're very close.
I am?
Very close. Like super close.
Wait.
You can't get closer than that.
With what?
Location of team.
Oh, location. Wait a minute. Brooklyn? It's close to Brooklyn?
Very, very super
Philly,
close.
Philly?
No, you're going away. You're going away.
I don't know where.
Right there. You're in New York. Where is it?
Oh, the Knicks?
The Knicks.
Wait, they're not mainstream.
Yes, they are. They're always in the news for something. Like whether good or bad, they're
yeah, it's bad. It's bad. It's
correct,
always
correct.
bad.
So it's a mainstream media team, right? It's a media market. Probably not for the reasons you'd want it to be, but it's definitely a media market. To go on the Knicks means you're going to be in the limelight, whether for good or bad. You're going to be, like it's one of those things. So the Knicks are the other team, and their original name. We know them as the Knicks, but you know what their original name is?
What?
You want to guess? It's the New York Knickerbockers. Yeah.
The Knickerbockers.
The Knickerbockers.
What is?
Yeah. That's those are the only two teams who have never moved locations or ever changed their name since day one, since the inception of the team, which is crazy to think about, right? Every other team, now you're wondering, like, really, like, where did these other teams? Although, like, I don't know, I'm kind of like, it's crazy. Like that was the thing I found. I found that, but I was like, what about Orlando? I don't remember them ever.
I don't.
Right? Since they were found, they were always the Orlando Magic, at least to my knowledge. I could be wrong, and I'm sure hopefully somebody will correct me. But those are the only two, like, since way back in history, because these are some of the oldest teams, right? Orlando's fairly a little newer. They were founded in the 1992 or 1, I believe. Shaq's rookie year, I believe. So yeah, it's those two teams. One for good reasons, one for not so good reasons, right? And yes, Knicks fans have endured a lot of pain. We should probably do an episode on fans. The pain that fans go through, just being team, loyal to their team. But yeah, so the Knicks and or sometimes I would refer to them as the New York Bricks. But
the New York Bricks. The New York Bricks.
I mean,
they do break their shots.
Listen, I'm from the Jordan era. Jordan would cook them. He would cook them. The Knicks, there were seasons and play in games where they would just brick after brick after brick, and that's how they built Madison Square Garden, brick after brick after brick. So
Madison Square Garden.
I'm just messing. I'm just teasing them. It's just fun to tease them because they're so sensitive about their team. It's just fun to tease them. All right, so that's my
number two.
Number two.
All right, so my number two is I know you don't know this.
Okay.
And if you do, I'm gonna.
You're gonna quit. You're gonna walk out. You're gonna walk out.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk out. Yep.
Episode's over.
Yep.
All right. Let's see.
So number two is Charles Barkley only played 2 years of high school ball. Do you know that?
No.
He only played 2 years.
2 years. So he played. I'm guessing here. I'm assuming he played junior and senior. He played 11th and 12th grade. 11th and 12th. Yeah, he didn't play freshman and sophomore.
No.
Okay, that makes sense. So he only played 2 years of high school basketball. Wow. You know what's crazy about that?
What?
Back then, they weren't training like they are now.
I know they are.
Right back then, like if you miss 2 years of high school basketball, you're behind. You're very behind. And I'm sure he was playing outside.
Do you know what the reason is though?
What?
That he was trying another sport.
What's that?
It just said he was playing another sport before, but for those 2 years of high school, he was playing another sport.
So that makes it even more impressive, right? The fact that the way his career panned out, because if he spent his time training for another sport, it means he didn't even bother picking up a basketball to work on his game. And I'm thinking maybe his other sport was either baseball or football. Right? One of those two.
Probably one of those two.
Right? Because he went to Auburn.
No, I think it was baseball.
Yeah, so Alabama, one of those two sports, right? Baseball. And correlation between those two, basketball and football and baseball, there's not much correlation as far as like getting your body right for that sport. because you need different muscles or different different types of strength for either sport. So that makes it even more
So
impressive.
his first 2 years in high school were baseball.
Right. But which makes his career that much more impressive, because not having worked out for 2 years of high school, right? It's different when you're in middle school or elementary. But in high school, like now you're every year counts. So for him to say, yeah, I'm going to take a break for 2 years and then go back and still dominate, still be like a Hall of Fame caliber player, man, that's special. That's a special talent. And he was undersized for his position.
Oh yeah, he played power forward. Right?
Yeah,
he was
small forward. Smaller power forward.
No, he played power. He played power.
So and he was undersized, but he still dominated. He was, so that's actually impressive. Like if he took 2 years off and he went and still made it, still went and got recruited by Auburn. I believe it was Auburn.
Yeah, I think it was Auburn.
And still handled business, still got drafted and still became the go-to guy, took his team to the finals, right, only to lose to MJ. But he's a Hall of Fame caliber athlete. And the years of like prime development are those high school years or before. Nowadays it's before, but back then that's kind of like when players were really taking it serious. And for him to make, kind of go where he did with that, man, that's respect. Much respect to Charles Barkley, the round mound of rebound. Right? That's what he's known as. He was an undersized guy who was known for rebounding. Like, think about that. That's special.
So that's my second fun fact.
That's your second fun fact?
Yep.
I like that one. I have a fun fact.
Number third, third one?
And this is like a bunch of fun facts inside a fun. It's like a multi-layered fun. It's like a bean dip.
Okay, listen. You still
different
color outside the lines, okay? You can't go outside of that. Like that's you.
I mean, do you expect anything? So, this is a fun fact about two complete extremes. I'm going to give a little more detail now, right? I got you thinking. The wheels are turning, right? One extreme is a guy who is, you have to look up like this. One extreme is a guy you look down like this to. Got it?
Wait, the shortest player ever and the tallest player ever.
Correct.
So Manute Bol and I believe it was Muggsy Bogues.
Right? Manute Bol, 7 feet.
And they both played on the same team.
During Muggsy Bogues' rookie year, which was the Washington Bullets.
It was the Bullets.
Right? There's a really famous picture where Manute and Muggsy are standing next to each other and the 3 basketballs in between and they're kind of holding it.
Yeah.
And Muggsy was coming up to Manute's almost waistline, which is crazy. You think about that, right? Like, sure, Manute, tall guy, basketball player, makes sense, right? But Muggsy at 5 feet 3 inches, basketball player? And it's not like he was like a scrub. Like, he was a good player. Like his career went long. He had a healthy career. A good baller. A guy. Did you know he had 39 blocks in his career at 5'3"? 39 registered blocks.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. So like that. So he obviously was special, right? Obviously he had to be special.
Yeah.
So that's a fun fact, right? The 2 extremes are on the same team in the same season. The smallest guy has 39 blocks. The biggest guy has more blocks than points scored. That's another little mini fun fact. I don't know if it's a good one, but it's a fact.
Yeah.
Right? Manute Bol's wingspan. Generally speaking, your wingspan is the same as your height, right? So whatever your height is, you put your arms out tip to tip right here, right? Fingertip to fingertip. It should be the same distance as your height. So 7 feet 7 inches should be 7 feet 7 inches. You know what his wingspan was?
Maybe 8 feet 4 inches.
You're off by 2.
8 feet 2 inches.
8 feet 6 inches.
6 inches.
So he was almost it was 11 inches more longer wingspan than his height. So now imagine how much distance he covers, right? That is insane. Which makes sense why he's blocking every shot out there. It's the guy who can dunk or touch the rim without jumping, which is crazy. Some of us can't even touch rim, and this guy can stand and touch rim. It's unfair, right? But again, what they say, you can't teach what?
Height.
Can't teach height. Can't teach height, but you can't, and you also can't teach heart, right? And Muggsy had heart, Manute had height. So you got a bunch of little mini fun facts in there. Let me keep adding to this bean dip here.
How much more are you gonna go?
Oh no, I got it. This bean dip comes with extra flavors. All right, extra layers here. The next layer is: did you know that Manute Bol, at the age of 15, killed a lion with a spear back in his country of Sudan? While he was, what were the points here? It said he was. Make sure I get.
I know that fact.
Make sure that
I know that fact.
Okay.
I've
He
seen
was
it.
watching his family's cattle in Sudan, and he was tasked with what a task: go kill this lion with a spear, not a gun, not a sword, not a knife, a spear. So a guy so I'm thinking at 15 years old is probably like 6.5 feet. Right? He's pretty tall, he's super skinny, and he's out there trying to kill a lion with a spear. Like, come on, dog. Like, seriously? This is what you're going to send your son to do? Not take out the trash.
Take out the trash.
Right? Not go do this or do this or do that. No, go kill this lion with a spear. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. This is what your weekly chore is for this week.
Chore.
Who does that?
Chore.
But again,
Is it a chore now?
I don't know. But I'm just making light of the situation. But it was a serious situation, obviously. But to be brave enough to go do that and have done it. No, I don't know if anyone went and fact checked it. I'm not trying to find out, right? But what I do know is the average NBA player did not kill a lion with a spear at the age of 15. Where a lot of us are probably playing video games and working on our game. So he wasn't even hooping at that age, which is crazy. Think about that. He wasn't even hooping. But there was no basketball in Sudan at that point, back then. Right? Basketball picked up a little later. So those are my my mini facts.
In one fact.
In one one big fact. It was the dip. Got the layers. It's a delicious dip.
All right, that's it.
Sir. That's my third one.
All right, so my third is so did you know until the shot clock was invented? This is just a fun one. You can know. It doesn't really help.
Okay.
Until the shot clock was invented, some NBA players used to sit on the ball to waste time when they were up.
Is that where the term "sit on the ball" comes from? Just sit on the ball, and they literally sat on the ball. Really?
Yeah.
Seriously, you just sit on the ball
so they can waste time if they're winning.
Right, which is kind of like high school basketball now. Right? There's no shot clock, and you just kind of keep dribbling it out.
No, they're not even dribbling it. They're sitting on the ball.
But that's wow. What a boring game to watch. What was the score, like 8-2 or 8-4? Like, that's terrible. I would not want to be at that game. I would never show up to games. And I'm so glad they did put a shot clock in, because who wants to go to that game? What a boring, dull, and terrible game. Ugh, that's like, ugh. I would never go to that. Like, it'd be
Is that something you learned?
I did. That's something new I learned.
Good.
There was another add-on fact to that was, I don't remember the exact details, but it was a college coach was it college coach or team owner? Some team owner maybe, or I can't remember the exact detail, but he helped implement the 24-second rule to help speed the pace of the game up. Because I'm sure he realized this, got frustrated, got irritated watching these these guys just sitting on the ball and wasting time. And this is boring. Nobody wants to come watch. Nobody's going to pay money for that. That's not good business, right? Sure, it might be strategic, but it's not good business. It's not good for the bottom line, right? The dollar. You're not going to fill seats like that. And you're not going to be able to pay your players. You're not going to get players. There's a lot of things that come with that, right? So to help speed the game up, he helped implement the 24-second shot clock, which really then, now you can't sit on the ball. You got to make a decision. You got to move and you got to score. If you don't, it's a turnover. So in your situation, the early one, never going to turn the ball over, right? Whereas now you have to do something. Otherwise, it's a turnover. The other team gets, right? So it's good. So I'm so happy that they stopped that nonsense and they added a 24-second shot clock to the game, because it's fun now. Now it's fun to watch. Cool.
All right, so you're number 4?
My number 4 is that I'm going to go close to you on this. This is close to you. This is going to be close to your heart as one of your favorite.
AI?
AI.
What?
Did you know, sir, that Allen Iverson to date, is the shortest player to win MVP, season MVP. Yeah. When did he win it? 2000 and I can't remember.
It was one.
The shortest player to ever win MVP. And I think Steve Nash was probably in there too. But Steve Nash was also not too tall, but Allen Iverson was shorter, I believe, by an inch or so. And so Allen Iverson is the shortest player to win MVP. And we can fact check this. And record the most steals in a playoff game. Did you know that?
He got the most steals in a playoff
In one game. In one game.
Yeah, he got the most steals.
Guess how many he got?
14.
It was double digits.
14.
No.
24.
No. Less.
16.
It was no less than 14.
Oh.
So he got 10 steals.
Okay.
10 steals in a playoff game versus the Orlando Magic on May 13th, 1999. So, and I believe that was Shaq was there. Shaq had to be there. Unless he went to the Lakers. I don't know.
No.
Can't remember when he went to the Lakers.
He might have went to the Lakers in 96.
No, 96 was when. No, not that early.
No. Then he stayed on the Magic.
We can check. But the point is, Allen Iverson got 10 steals in a playoff game, which I don't think has been broken to date. And he is also the shortest player to win MVP in the league, which is remarkable. You're thinking about the talent and every player that has won MVP. Think about that. They're all 6'5" and above, other than maybe Derrick Rose, 6'3" or 6'2".
Has Steph won MVP?
Steph has won MVP.
Yeah.
Again, 6'2", right? But Allen Iverson, he was 6 or a little maybe less, but 6, right? Like that's remarkable. That's special. So, and this is a guy who also wasn't shooting the deep ball, right? He was navigating his way into the trees, into the heart of where
he had
paint is.
He had his mid-range game though.
Right. But he wasn't shooting that deep ball.
Yeah, he could. No.
Not that he couldn't.
He could, but
He was a prolific scorer, but he was one of those guys that was attacking the paint. And as a small guy, like who was getting banged up, man, this guy, that's special. Like the way his mindset was, you loved it. That's why Philly loved him. That's why Philly loves him to this day. Like I respect AI all day, every day. That's why he is on our wall, right? If he wasn't that guy, he wouldn't be on our wall, right? These are guys who deserve to be on people's walls.
Yep.
They've earned the right to be on the wall. You don't see other players, right? These are two players, your favorite players. The reason you chose them is for what? For that reason. So that's why that was my fun fact, which I knew you'd like, because I didn't think you knew though.
I don't.
Yeah.
All right, so my fourth is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. You might know this. Kareem has only scored 1 3-pointer in his 20-year career.
Really? Seriously? Was the 3-pointer there when he was starting? When he was in the league early on? Because it got implemented later. I can't remember what year it was. But so in his career though, he's only scored 1?
1.
How many has he attempted? You don't know?
But he only scored 1.
That's crazy. Wow. You know, Shaq has a similar stat as well.
But he had a little career.
Shaq?
He had a...
No, Shaq had a long enough career.
But not 20 years.
Yeah, not 20 years, but he had a long enough career.
But Kareem was a better shooter than Shaq.
I mean, the skyhook, right?
Yeah, but
yeah,
it's crazy that he only made 1 3-pointer in his 20-year career.
The hook shot.
Yeah, the hook shot.
Yeah, well, listen, when you're that big and the hook shot, nobody can block it. Why would you need to go out there? And back then, 3-point wasn't favored. They didn't even, like, you were not allowed to shoot threes much at all in that game. Like the whole game was designed around the big man. So everything had to go through the big man. So he really had no reason.
That's why in the first 2-3 decades, the big men were the best players.
Yeah, you built around your big man. You didn't build around the Stephs and the AIs. You built around, the Hakeem Olajuwons, the Patrick Ewings, the Kareems,
the Shaqs.
Right? You built around those kind of guys. But now it's gradually shifted, where even your big man now has to have guard-like skills if you want to build around them. You have to have guard-like skills nowadays, right? You got your Embiids,
your Jokers,
Jokic, right? Your Joker. You have to be able to shoot the 3 ball, stretch the floor, and be able to to be inside, right? The Wembyama, right? You have to be able to play a multifaceted game as a big man. If you're just a strict-souled big man, yeah, it's not gonna work out. Like you're not gonna be the go-to option. Let's just say that, right? Brook Lopez, guy's like 7-something, had to change his game, right? When he first started out, he wasn't shooting threes, but look at him now. Like he's pulling off from deep and draining them, which is crazy, right? Like that release point probably at 10 feet. It's nonsense. Wembyama, look at him.
He can shoot.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's the new big man, a guy like who can play like a guard, but is like a big, which is
He's a big guard.
It's almost unfair.
He's
right?
a big guard.
Yeah, he's a big guard. It's crazy. It's Kevin Durant. It's crazy. So I'm with you. Like so, it makes sense why Kareem back then only shot one because it wasn't an encouraged.
No, not shot one, made one.
I'm sorry, made one because it wasn't encouraged, right? Shaq, it's not his game. Even he attempted a bunch. He only made one. But even the one he made, it was like off of like an inbound pass with 2 seconds left. He had to chuck it up and it happened to go in. It was a bank. Like it wasn't like something he, let me set up at the line. I got to pass and I'm going to shoot. It wasn't that. Right? But now that is the play. So that's interesting. I didn't know that about Kareem. Okay.
That's my number 4.
What's your number 4?
Your number 5.
My number 5 is, I was going back through like a bunch of other ones, but I went with this one. And this one revolves around the All-Star game, right? Because the All-Star game will have recently happened by the time this episode airs. So I felt like this was a great way to cap it off for me. The Miami Heat in the 1995 All-Star game are the only team with the only 2 players who both won the dunk contest and the three-point contest to date.
The only team?
Only team with players who have won both contests in the same event, Miami Heat. Now, do you want to guess who the dunk contest winner was, or the 3-point?
Wait, the Heat?
Yep.
Back then?
Back in 1995. I know it was a way young man.
How should I know?
I know you won't know. But do you want to guess? Just some random names.
Random?
There's a clue in front of you actually. Somewhere there's a clue in front of you. Somewhere there's a clue in front of you.
Somewhere?
You were looking at it.
Wait a minute. The Heat? Wait. I think I know who won the dunk contest.
Who won the dunk?
Wait a minute. Is he on the Heat? No, he was on the Blazers. Wait, what?
No? He's a lefty. And he pulled a pretty nice dunk. He was actually referred to as Baby Jordan. Guys people from my era, my generation will know.
It's not Drexler.
No. He wasn't on the Heat. It's tough. I know it's tough. It's actually this guy right here. And the funny thing is in this picture, right? In this picture, he is. So back in the day, we also collected cards.
Yeah.
This is the rookie card of this guy because when he first came out, let me put this out. Let me put this up front. Hopefully they can see it. I hope they can see it. If not,
maybe they can zoom in.
Right there.
You can zoom in.
This is Mr. You want to read the name?
Harold Miner.
Harold Miner. He was referred to as Baby Jordan.
But he won the
when
dunk
he first
contest.
Came out. He won the dunk contest that year. And coincidentally, in this picture, who's guarding him? Who's jumping up to block that shot? Michael Jordan. Right? It's crazy. It's crazy. This is rookie. It's a rookie card. And Harold Miner was known as, the baby Michael Jordan or Baby Jordan, as they called him. He was a guard on the Miami Heat.
Who won the 3-point contest?
He won the dunk contest that year.
Who won the 3-point contest?
And the 3-point contest was this guy's a great shooter. Great shooter. And this guy made his name on actually the Charlotte Hornets shooting, but he got traded. He's not on there, no. But he was his teammate that year. Well, and he was
Alonzo's teammate?
Not Alonzo. Harold Miner's teammate. Yeah, and he was a veteran, more so. He was more seasoned than Harold Miner. Harold Miner was a rookie that year. This guy's name was Glenn Rice.
Glenn Rice. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Glenn Rice was a shooter.
I've heard that
This guy could shoot. And I believe he was also in the All-Star game. This guy could shoot. He was a shooter. And he won the 3-point contest. He had an interesting, really smooth flow to a shot. He kind of it wasn't like a pause and pop, go, but it was one of those he brought it up high and the release point was up here. Crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. But it was so smooth and every time cash money, cash money. If Glenn Rice let it go, you were pretty sure it was going in, right? He had a really smooth flow to his game. So Glenn Rice, Miami Heat, Harold Miner, Miami Heat, both won this these two events. Dunk contest for Harold Miner, 3-point contest for Glenn Rice.
In the same year.
Same year, same All-Star event.
The same team.
Same team. Only
Okay.
time it's ever happened.
Okay.
Maybe it'll happen again, I don't know, but so far it's the only time it's ever happened. That's
Okay.
my number 5.
Okay. So my number 5, you know this one. We talked about it before.
Okay.
So this fact is that
Is it a common fact? The average person probably knows it.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know Hooper.
Hoopers will know it?
Yeah.
Okay.
That Kobe Bryant holds the record for most missed shots in the NBA.
Yes. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, right?
It's
you
not.
You can look at it as, is that a record I want to really hold, or you know, what I mean? Like, so yeah, Kobe Bryant, amongst the many other great records that he holds, this is one other record that he also holds, which he doesn't really care. He didn't care about it. I remember when this happened and they brought it to his attention. He was like, yeah, he didn't care less about it, because what do we say? Shooters
shoot,
right? He's a shooter. He's going to shoot. And some of those years when he had those teams, he was the only shooter there. He had to shoot, right? And he was also known as like a ball hog and not much of a passer, whatever the case is. He didn't care. You know, sometimes to carry your team to the finish line, you just got to do what you got to do to stay afloat, right? Because one thing he was a winner. And sometimes the winner or the go-to franchise player has to take the shots. It is what it is. And you don't feel bad about it, because at the end of the day, same thing he also said, if you put in the work, you deserve to take the shots. If you're not working like me, why would I pass you the ball?
like he wouldn't pass it to Shaq when Shaq was on his team.
Well, he told Shaq to go get it off the rebound.
Yeah.
Right? Get the rebound. Because, again, if you're not working like me, you're not putting in the work, the blood, sweat, and tears into this. You're not sacrificing your time. You're not going through the discipline. You're not solely dedicating your life to your profession. Why are you here? Right? And if you're my colleague, whether it's workplace or teammate, how can I trust you? Right? Why should I trust you? Why should I pass you this ball at the most critical moment? I mean, I understand it. I mean, it's unfortunate that he had to shoot so much and miss so much, right? But again, did he have a choice? Possibly. But was the team in position to really help him in some certain years? No, right? So you kind of have to dive deeper into the context of that stat and just not take it as surface value, because like right off the bat, it doesn't sound well. But you really got to like know the history and understand the context to really understand how that stat comes about, right? Where it comes from, what the situation, what the circumstances were, what his mindset was, what his work ethic was, right? Things like that. So it's an interesting stat, right? Off the bat, it comes negative, but I don't think it's negative in that sense, because again, I don't advise to go out there and become a ball hog. I don't say that. Please don't do that. Kids, don't do that. Don't ever do that, right? Be a teammate that's going to uplift and bring your team together, right? Who's going to make the right pass, the right play, not the 3-on-1, I'm still shooting this and there's 2 guys open. No, please don't do that, right? Play the game the right way and understand, though, the situation that he was in was different, right? It's different. It's not the same situation all of us are in, or really get some people's career doesn't work out like this. Some people's career works out differently. But for him, that's how the cards he was dealt, and that's what he had to deal with. It's just that simple. So it's yeah, I know that one though. I do know that one. So either way, sir, anything else?
Nope.
That's it? Is that everything for us?
Yep.
All right, my man. That was I learned a few things.
I learned a lot of things.
You learned a lot of things. I think we might need to hit up, since a lot of this stuff is YouTubeable, it's Googleable. We're going to hit up YouTube after this, and we're going to go through some of these historical events and just to kind of bring you up to speed about what your dad was watching it when he was a young boy like you, right? And just kind of educating you on the game. But I appreciate it, man. I appreciate you educating me. I really enjoyed that part of this. So let's just keep doing this, right?
Yep.
Another day, another episode, right? And until next time, remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at Oh Kiddan, at Oh Kiddan, everywhere, anywhere, you name it, we'll be there. And remember to like, remember to share, remember to subscribe, and most importantly, remember to subscribe to help us grow and really reach other folks out there who can learn something new like we did. Hopefully you did too. So with that, see you later. Alvida, Avjo, Khudafis, and Sat Sri Akal. Till next time, peace.
Peace. Oh Kiddan.